Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for being here. At this time, I will. Oh, is it on? At this time, I will call the meeting of the New Jersey State Council on the Arts to order. In keeping with the Open Public Meetings Act, next notice of the meeting has been shared with the required media outlets, posted in the office of the Secretary of State, on the Council's website, and shared via social media. Notice we also distributed broadly to all Council applicants and grantees, program partners, and others on the Council's email distribution list. As always, the notice offered accommodations for those who may need accessibility services. And we welcome Susan Devarkey from Total Caption, who's here this morning providing captioning services. Thank you, Susan. I also like to welcome our Deputy Attorney General, Brian Ragunin, who will be assisting us with the election of officers later in the meeting. It is wonderful to see so many representatives here from New Jersey's arts community joining us this morning. On behalf of my colleagues on the Council, I want to welcome you to the Trenton and to the Historic War Memorial. I'd like to thank Margaret O'Reilly, Bill Nutter, and the wonderful staff crew here at the memorial to help make this event happen. Under Governor Murphy, there has been a significant focus across the state agencies to invest in revitalization of our capital city. And that includes consideration of the wonderful cultural assets Trenton has to offer, such as the War Memorial. We are extremely grateful to Governor Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Way, and the entire administration for their dedication to the arts in the cultural in New Jersey. In her role as Secretary of State, the Lieutenant Governor has served as an ex officio member of the Council's board. While Lieutenant Governor Way could not be here with us today in person, she would like to share some remarks. Is that possible? Okay.
Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way, and I also serve the great people of New Jersey as our Secretary of State. It is in this role that I get to oversee the work of the State Council on the Arts, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the Council's annual meeting. I wish I was able to join you in person today, but know that I'm thinking of all of you, and I'm there in spirit. Let me begin by recognizing Council Chair Felicia Grant, Executive Director Allison Trapner, and all of the board members and staff for your commitment to public service and dedication to both arts organizations and the individual artists at the heart of our work. Today's meeting illustrates the consistent and generous support for artists that has been a hallmark of the Council's leadership. Much of our department's work relates to enhancing the quality of life for New Jersey's residents, and the Council is central to those efforts. Across all disciplines, the arts help us grow, share, feel, and understand our place in humanity. As the largest founder of the arts in New Jersey, the Council plays a vital role in supporting an industry that makes our state a better place to live. We continue in this final year of our administration to make robust investments in this space. So, thanks for the resilience, compassion, and optimism.
The New Jersey Department of the State. Thank you for being with us this morning, Dana. Lieutenant Governor Way has a long-standing supporter of the arts who has been honored to have her join us over the last 8 years as a number of council meetings and events. On one such event was the New Jersey Poetry Out Loud state competition in 2019. As a former literature professor, the Lieutenant Governor was excited to join the council and our students competitors for the National Recitation Competition, which just celebrated its 20th anniversary this past year. Today we are joined by Hadashu Broughton, our NJPOL 2025 state champion. Hadash represented New Jersey as the national competition in May, where she progressed through the competition to the final 9 students. Please join us in welcoming Hadash.
Good morning, all. Good morning, council members and esteemed guests. I'm Hadassah Broughton. I'm a rising junior at Stewart Country Day School of the Sacred Heart. Thank you. I have been writing poetry all my life, since I was around 5 years old, for presents for my parents on their birthdays, until I read Langston Hughes' autobiography. I wrote a poem and I performed it for my English teacher. And she told me, Hadassah, you should go into speech and debate. And I said, okay. So I started on that route. And then, once I got to my sophomore year of high school, I got a Poetry Out Loud assignment. My teacher told me to recite another poem. I've told her I've been doing this for ages, I got this. So I recited this poem in front of my whole English classroom. And after that, my teacher told me that, Hadassah, the school stage is just the first step, and that the national stage is on your way. So I went to regionals for Poetry Out Loud, then districts, then states, and I became the state champion of New Jersey in Poetry Out Loud. And I felt so honored to be able to use my innate gift of public speaking in a way that can touch so many people. And one day, I hope to use it to become a civil justice lawyer in my future life. But today, in this moment, I'll be performing Learning to Read by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper for all of you today. Learning to Read by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Very soon, the Yankee teachers came down to set up school. But oh, how the Rebs did hate it. It was against their rule. Our masters always tried to hide book learning from our eyes. Knowledge didn't agree with slavery. 'Twould make us all too wise. But some of us would try to steal a little from the book and put the words together and learn by hook or crook. And there was Mr. Turner's Ben, who took pot liquor fats and greased the pages of his book and hid it in his hat. And had his master ever seen the leaves upon his head? He thought them greasy papers, but nothing to be read. And there was Uncle Cladwell, who heard the children spell and picked the words right up by heart and learned to read them well. Well, the northern folk kept sending the Yankee teachers down, and they stood right up with us. Though the Rebs did sneer and frown, and I longed to read my Bible, for precious words it said. But as I begun to learn it, folks just shook their head and said, "There's no use trying. Oh, Chloe, you're too late." But as I was rising 60, I had no time to wait. So I got a pair of glasses, and straight to work I went and never stopped till I could read the hymns and Testament Then I got a little cabin, a place to call my own. And I felt independent as a queen upon her throne. Thank you.
Thank you, Hadassah. We are honored to have you with us today, reflecting on the importance of the arts in your life. We look forward to seeing more great things from you in the future. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our meeting held on May 20th, 2025.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. The next item on agenda is a swearing in of a new council member, Evie McGee Colbert. I want to thank Governor Murphy and the Senate for their attention and action on this, and Evie for her willingness to serve. The council has 20 seats, 3 are ex officio and filled by the Lieutenant Governor in her role as Secretary of State, a Senate Representative, Senator Shapezi, and a member of the Assembly, Assemblyman Kennedy. The other 17 are filled by members of the public, private citizen volunteers. Each of us is nominated by the Governor, approved by the Senate. As of today, we have 14 of those 17 seats filled. Evie is a well-known member of the New Jersey arts community, serving as a founding member and the current president of the Board of Trustees for the Montclair Film. In addition to her experience in development and broad service, Evie is also a producer and author. In 2020, Evie was appointed to Governor Murphy's Restart and Recovery Commission and is responsible for the creation for the Commission's Arts and Culture Working Group, a group so chaired alongside her Executive Director, Allison Tratner. At this time, I'd like to ask our Deputy Attorney General, Brian Raguin, and Evie to come to the podium for the oath.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Evelyn McGee Colbert,
I, Evelyn McGee Colbert,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I do solemnly swear
and I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties
of the office of the council member of the New Jersey State Council on the Arts,
of the office of the council member of the New Jersey State Council on the Arts,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evie, we are thrilled to welcome you to the State Arts Council. Through your extensive experience in the arts and your commitment to the community, we know you will bring important insight at a pivotal moment for the council. And now for my report, the chair's report. The council enters fiscal year 26 with a cultural projects appropriation in the state budget of $31.9 million. Are we up there? Okay. Funding for the arts through the council comes from the revenue generated through the state's hotel, motel occupancy fee, a source and strategy that was established in 2003 by our state's advocates and leaders. This dedicated revenue has kept the arts of New Jersey among the most well-funded in the nation when it comes to state support. These past several months have brought much uncertainty, both to the field and the council, but I would be remiss if I did not recognize the stability of our state appropriation provides us. We have seen states zero out budgets for their cultural agencies, and we've seen agencies shrink to a single staff person, responsible for serving an entire state. But once again, the people of New Jersey have made it clear the arts are not an afterthought or something to be seen as a luxury. The arts are a vital part of everyday lives, shaping our communities and our society, creating connections, sparking conversation, and building understanding and empathy. And today, we are incredibly grateful to the Murphy's administration, Lieutenant Governor Way, and the legislature for upholding the strategy and continuing to support this agency at this level. The work of the council is not possible without the support of our advocates and partners in the field. We are very thankful to have such a passionate group of supporters and colleagues here in New Jersey. And I'd like to recognize the entire board and staff at Art Pride, New Jersey, specifically Adam Pearl. I see you, Adam. Vincent Hall, Vanessa Romalu, and board chair Karen Berkowitz. Sorry. If anyone here has questions about Art Pride, I encourage you to connect with them after the meeting. While state funding for this arts remains level, I am saddened to share that the same is not true for our federal funding. Like far too many arts organizations across the state, the council has spent the last several months grappling with the possibility that we may no longer be receiving a grant from the National Endowment of the Arts. My colleagues and I will go into greater detail throughout the meeting, but as of today, we are still unsure of our federal funding. While we have received a preliminary grant offer from the NEA, it's still under review. While some of our state arts agency peers across the country have made the decision to hold off on awarding fiscal year 26 grants until they are certain of the NEA grant amount. We recognize the hardship that's waiting would, the hardships that waiting would place on the field. After many months of uncertainty, the last thing this council wants to do is place more worry or burden on any of you, to the extent that we can help it. Therefore, we will be moving forward today with the guaranteed funding from the state, recognizing that this may look a little differently from the council's grants and services this year. One of the most significant differences, unfortunately, would be the Poetry Out Loud, which is a national program driven by the NEA. While we remain cautiously optimistic that we will still receive a formal federal award for this fiscal year, it remains a possibility that we may be closing an important chapter in our arts education work. Hadassah performance this morning is especially meaningful as we reflect on Poetry Out Loud as its profound impact on students and educators across the state. The strategies we will detail in today's business reflect on best efforts with the information and resources we have right now. And they include some disappointing, unexpected changes across the board. Not all unexpected, however, is the way the staff and the board have stepped up. I hope it is apparent to the people here today that those turning in to the live stream that is a group of incredible, dedicated public servants. We don't question the importance of our work. Excuse me. We are grateful to have the opportunity to do it, even and especially now, in service to and support of the artists and arts organizations statewide. Before I close, and in spirit of celebrating the strength of this community, I would like to recognize a council member who's with us today, making her 18th and final annual meeting, Ophelia Garcia. After nearly 2 decades of service, Ophelia is stepping down from her role on the council. Since joining the board in 2007, Ophelia has led the council as chair and vice chair and has served on a number of council committees, all while managing an acclaimed career in academia, visual arts, museums, and more. I won't list all of her accomplishments, but I do want to note that in the middle of it all, Ophelia was the recipient of the Women's Caucus of Art Lifetime Achievement Award, an honor also bestowed upon Georgia O'Keeffe, Rosa Parks, and Faith Ringgold. On behalf of the state of New Jersey, I'd like to present you, Ophelia, with this letter from Governor Murphy and Lieutenant Governor Way, and I'd like to share an excerpt they write in gratitude. During your impressive tenure, you have generously given of your time and expertise to help steer the council during some historic times. You are well known for being firm in your convictions, passionate about the arts, and committed to public service. It is clear that your belief in the importance of the arts is woven through many facets of your life: an educator, an advocate for diversity and inclusion in the arts, a champion of women's artists, and so much more. You have brought to your role on the council a unique and important perspective that will be sorely missed. As they close, they note, the legacy you leave is one inspiring stewardship, insightful leadership, and authentic commitment. Continue. Okay. We have been profoundly lucky to have you on this board, working to support of the state's artists and arts organizations. We cannot thank you enough.
I have to admit that it has been a privilege and a pleasure to provide this service, because I managed to work with tremendous colleagues, an amazing staff, and to get to know your splendid institutions. Along the way, I must reflect that I joined this group when I was a young woman, and then something happened. So this is the right moment for me, and I leave with great affection for all of you. Thank you. Oh my God.
Gorgeous, just the same.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Let's not turn it into an obituary, please.
Okay, this concludes my chair's report. I'll now ask Allison Tratner to deliver the executive director's report.
Now, I didn't hear what Ophelia said just now, but I think it was that she wants us to stop. but first, I just have to add my gratitude because I consider myself very lucky to have worked with Ophelia all of these years. Ophelia, when I read about you before your swearing in 2007, I was intimidated to meet you. Thankfully, it was clear pretty quickly that you do bring that gravitas into the room, but really just to share it. You're the kind of person one wants at the table when conversations are complex and solutions require thoughtful listening and questioning and no sugarcoating. I learn from you each time we speak, whether you mean to teach me things or not. And I also laugh because in addition to being so impressive, you're also very funny. I will miss you. Thank you. So my goal with this report is to recap the spending and the programs of the last year to provide a snapshot of what we've been up to and how we as an agency stay accountable to the people and to the field. We have a few slides so that the details will be front and center, and I hope everyone has had a chance to grab the printed year in review that's on the table over there. I might say it's quite beautiful. Thank you, Samantha and Chris and Michelle. So, at the start of last year, fiscal year 25, Governor Murphy and the legislature had dedicated $31.9 million to the council through the state budget. This vote of confidence in our agency and in our industry was a bright spot at a time of continued financial uncertainty in the field. On the screen now, you can see that in fiscal year 25, the council had a little over $33.5 million to work with. The funds were a combination of the state appropriation as well as a state partnership agreement grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. Roughly 93% of those funds went right back out the door in grants to artists and arts organizations. Annually, the council is mandated to ensure that 25% of grant funds are invested in the 8 southern counties, and in FY25, we not only met but exceeded that target. And on this next slide, we see how the grants broke down. FY25 was the first top of cycle in 5 years for the council's largest grant programs, general operating support and general program support, or GOS and GPS as we call it. And it was also the largest investment this agency has ever made through these programs. We know that flexible multi-year operating support is among the most challenging for nonprofits to find, and so 64% of council funds were invested in this way. New last year was the inclusion of the long-term residency supplement, or letters, as an opportunity within the GOS grant for organizations interested in doing work with teaching artists in educational settings. This grant cycle is a pilot for letters and our attempt to increase access to support for this kind of work. By maintaining funding through the local arts program last year, which was tripled in fiscal year 22 when our budget grew, the 21 officially designated county arts agency partners made sure that council dollars landed in the hands of 605 more organizations and individuals serving communities in every county, helping to ensure that state dollars go beyond the borders that define eligibility for GOS and GPS directly from the council. With an increased investment of $2 million in the Individual Artist Fellowship Program and the launch of the Folk and Traditional Arts Project grants, we directly supported a historic 222 artists last year. And the council also focused funding on projects that serve the field at large, incentivizing investment in the industry and helping us meet our shared goals. Projects like the Cultural Access Network, the 5 regional folk life centers, artist showcases, critical financial services, and public art programs. The council's fiscal year 25 investment in organizations, projects, and artists resulted in 375 direct grants, an additional 605 re-grants through the local arts program, or $31,132,069 in 980 grants. So quantifying that investment is easy, and once we have all the final reports that all of you will so diligently submit, we will see that these dollars leverage hundreds of millions more in economic impact, draw millions of visitors and audience members, employ thousands of individuals, and help New Jersey families, communities, and industries build a vibrant quality of life. The final reports that I mentioned, they are a key component in not only ensuring our collective accountability in putting public funds to good use, but in making the case for our continued support, gaining insight into the realities of running a nonprofit today. Based on feedback from the field, we've extended the fiscal year 25 final report window from 30 days to 45 days. For organizations who struggle to have all the pieces they need, we hope this helps streamline things for you. For those who are ready to submit before the deadline, please don't wait. The sooner fiscal year 25 final reports are processed, the sooner final payments can be released, and for our multi-year grantees, the sooner your first fiscal year 26 payment can be lined up. But back to last year. On the slide with the grants overview pie chart, you saw the majority of the space taken up by GOS, and that's true. The project grant area, however, can't be measured as neatly by the dollars. What you see here on this slide is an overview of partnerships, initiatives, services managed by our team, many representing the best of public-private partnerships. And you'll notice some overlap. There are some grant programs here, and that's because they are directly linked to a service through and then beyond the dollars, customized to the specific constituency. And while a few of these things have no grant dollars, they are powered by council staff time and expertise. What we've learned the last few years and what was confirmed through our strategic planning process is that the public would like the council to foster opportunities for professional learning, networking across sectors, and networking with one another. Working in partnership with organizations across the country and here in New Jersey, we have been able to serve hundreds of organizations and thousands of individuals through new and strengthened services. Professional development for artists significantly increased in fiscal year 25 through our partnership with Forecast Public Art, Mid-Atlantic, and others. Our data tells us we reached over 1,800 artists through our programs last year. That's more than double the year before. And our second year of the multi-session series on capacity building with the Nonprofit Finance Fund reached more than 730 participants, a 70% increase over the year before. The collaborative approach to so much of what we do is why it works. And a great example of this is the Communities of Practice series. They're made up of cohorts of council grantees managed by small teams of council staff. There were a few new ones this year, including the Arts and Health Roundtables. The roundtables brought together more than 440 organizations, arts organizations, and community partners from outside the arts sector, all interested in strengthening and supporting the arts and wellness initiatives. Giving and having space to learn and share with colleagues is so valuable, and the more that we learn, the more strategic with our support we can be. I'm incredibly proud of what we've been able to do and how this area of our work has grown. In addition to the support connected to council programs, the staff prioritizes applicant and grantee support all year. We know that in FY25, our team assisted thousands of individuals virtually and in person and on the phone. Between webinars, office hours, workshops, and presentations, hundreds of hours were logged, helping the public gain access to council information and resources, and last year, we began implementing ways to track these efforts so that we know who and where we're reaching and who and where we aren't. On staff, we are a group of 15 state employees. The people behind the scenes at the council are mission-driven professionals. Here you can see all of their names. They are smart, creative people, not only not afraid of change, but champions for it. I'd like to ask those on the staff who are not already standing to please stand. I see you all lined up in the back as if you knew I was going to say this. Oh, and there's another one coming through the door. Since the annual meeting last year, we welcomed one new staff member who's here today, Doug West. Doug joined us as our operations specialist, effectively doubling our capacity in operations. And in roughly 6 months he's been with us, he has proven himself completely invaluable. Thank you, Doug. So everyone on staff is here today. This takes all of us. Please do say hello afterwards at the reception if you haven't already. I could go on for a long time in a great way about every member of the council staff. That's not just lip service, it is the truth, and I think they know it. I have been with the council for a long time. This is my 20th annual meeting. Hard to believe. Since taking this role about 6 years ago, I can safely say the job has not been the same 2 years in a row. The uncertainty we're facing as an agency related to the NEA funding this year has been incredibly disruptive to our plans, to our workflow, ultimately to our funding for the field. Every element of the disruption requires us as a team to build and rebuild strategies to attempt to minimize the negative impact internally and externally. So to start, this has been a lot of work. But the work is what we do. Contending with the reasons for the disruption, to the extent that any of us can make any sense of it, is harder for most of us. And in that piece, I am incredibly grateful to be doing this important work in this challenging moment with this stellar team. So thank you. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Felicia, and to the full board for your time, your expertise, your leadership through such uncharted territory, and for your faith and your trust in the staff and me. And welcome, Evie. I am so looking forward to working with you in this new way. We are very lucky to have you. So thank you, and wishing everyone good health and a great rest of the summer.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
20 years. Excellent.
Thank you, Allison. And now I'd like to ask the Chair of the Planning Committee, Carol Herbert, to deliver her report. Good job.
Good morning, all. You know, as the Chinese have said, may we all live in interesting times. And let me tell you, we certainly do. One of the directives of the Planning Committee is to keep an eye on how well we're following the path we set for ourselves, using our long-range strategic plan and our annual program and operations plan as our guides. This kind of ongoing assessment helps us stay accountable and helps us understand what's working and what's not. Now, we just heard Allison recap in broad strokes the way the council funds were spent last year and some of the outcomes. And I'll further contextualize that information relative to what we said, what we're going to do. Last year was the second year of the council's new strategic plan, which is available on the front table for anyone who'd like a copy. And as always, we created a program plan for the year, including articulated priorities. I won't walk us through each one in great detail, and aren't you glad about that? Thank you. But I will highlight a few things, because I know the staff would want me to. We said we would make grants to organizations and artists that strengthen the arts sector and contribute to statewide vitality in equitable and accessible ways. In FY25, the council distributed more than $20 million in operating grants alone, signaling a historic mark of progress for both the council and the sector. We leaned further into an equity-centered strategy to help smaller and mid-sized organizations, and we helped them build capacity that way. And making a record-breaking investment, over $2 million in New Jersey's working artists, providing means for basic needs and sustaining and strengthening careers. We said we would provide professional services for the field based on current needs and opportunities, based on public input and field trends. The staff launched a new Arts and Health Vital virtual roundtable series that brought together over 440 arts organizations and community partners interested in understanding what's needed to strengthen and support arts and health initiatives statewide. We also continue our multi-session professional development series focused on critical financial services for arts nonprofits, the Nonprofit Finance Fund Watch Party series, which maintained a steady level of participation all year long. This past spring, the council made an investment in the ongoing Arts Pay New Jersey project, which aims to address issues of pay equity, staff retention, and sector sustainability. More information is available on this at the front table, and I do hope you all will participate in the anonymous surveys and upcoming webinars. Moving along, we said that we would grow the council's multifaceted communication strategy with enhanced tools, information, and materials. The staff continued to excel at and refine high-quality constituent relations and assistance across all teams, and we strengthen our communications asset online and in print, such as the beautiful year in review that is also on the table back there. The Public Value Committee had a string of impactful initiatives communicating about the value of the work of this agency and the importance of supporting arts and arts organizations, artists, and arts workers statewide. And the things we all sometimes love to hate, social media and email, this year we saw growth in our reach and engagement online, with e-news subscribers increasing by 13%, and the engagement is above the industry's average. We said we would further embrace the principles of diversity, equity, access, and inclusion in grant making and services. FY25 grant amounts that were based on multifaceted strategy took into account a number of factors that helped the council in our ongoing work to challenge inequities in our own historic funding practices. We launched our inaugural Folk and Traditional Arts Project grants, which help to ensure the survival of valued traditional art forms in New Jersey communities by investing in emerging and mid-career folk and traditional artists, fostering access to support for building in their knowledge, skills, and training in the culturally specific art form. The council invested in the creation of Revolutionary Acts, a public art project that aims to shed light on the untold narratives of the American Revolution, recognizing the significance of incorporating more histories into places where gaps in historical landscape are evident. We look forward to continuing that work into fiscal year 26 with our partners at Monument Lab, the New Jersey Historical Commission, and Revolution New Jersey. Lastly, we said that we would build internal capacity, streamline operations, and capitalize on our expertise. We continue to improve the technical tools we all use, including SAGE, in order to simplify the process on both sides and better organize and use the data that we collect. Over the past year, we filled vacant roles on our team, significantly increasing our capacity and our expertise. When it comes time to prepare the plan for next year, all that looking back helps us look ahead. We have work to do, a lot of work to do, and we'll hear all about this coming year as we move through the agenda. But I'm incredibly proud of the strides we've taken this past year toward the goals we set for ourselves, goals that were made clear to us through public input in our last strategic planning process. Now, I'd like to thank my fellow planning committee members, Vice Chair Michael Penna, Ophelia Garcia, Lana Goldwalder, Joyce Gore, Dee Kirk, and Vivian Scott Chu. And then I would also like to especially thank our staff liaison, Michelle Schaefer. Where did she go? I saw her there before. Oh, there you are, Michelle. Okay. I got 4 words to describe Michelle. One of the best. I can't thank you enough, Michelle, personally, for all that you do and all you did to make this new three-year plan evolve to what it is today. So thank you so much from, I know, the staff, the board, and everyone. It's greatly appreciated how hard you work. So, with that being said, JFK once said, and this is one of my favorite quotes, "I am certain that after the dust of centuries has passed, I am certain that after the dust of centuries has passed over our cities, we too will be remembered not for victories or defeats in battle or in politics, but for one contribution that we give to the human spirit." And everyone in this audience, to me, has contributed to the health of the human spirit in this country. So I thank you all for that personally. And with that being said, I wish you all good health and strength of spirit. Thank you. Carol Herbert.
Thank you, Carol. Next is my turn to report to you on the recommendations of the Council's Executive Committee. As previously noted, this report will center on the fiscal year 26 program budget and operations plan, or program plan. The plan includes priorities that will guide our work this year and within the context of the strategic plan. At conclusion of this meeting, the fiscal year 26 program plan will be posted online. Because of the uncertainty we referenced that you will all be aware of, I want to take a minute to lay out in black and white what we're working with, where resources come from, and why today's actions are what they are. Public funding for the arts through the State Arts Council has historically come from two main sources: the New Jersey state budget and the federal-funded National Endowment on the Arts. In the state budget, there are two lines that pertain to the agencies, its operations, and its grants process. The cultural project appropriation, which is where we get the annual funding for statewide grants through our programs, and the administrative appropriation, which covers a small portion of the agency's costs to operate. As for federal funding, the council applies for and receives a state partnership agreement grant from the National Endowment for the Arts every year, helping to ensure the broadest reach of federal dollars in support of all citizens, and to helping ensure the council's statewide programming can function from an operation perspective. We know that since January, many federal agencies have canceled grants, shifted priorities, and in some cases, all but closed their doors. The NEA remains functional. Their staff has decreased. Some of their programs have been altered, and many of their timelines have been delayed. Those changes and delays lead to where we are today, a state of uncertainty about the council's NEA grant for the state fiscal year 2026. Here's what we know for sure. Thanks to Governor Murphy's administration and the state legislature, and the council enters fiscal year 26 with $31.9 million cultural projects appropriations and an administrative appropriation of $455,000. State budget language allows for up to 5% of the cultural projects appropriation to be spent on administrative cost. In the typical year, the council uses less than 2% of those allowable dollars for administration, focusing the majority of the state's investment on artists and arts nonprofits through grants. We are only able to prioritize spending in this way because of the annual gift from the National Endowment for the Arts. Without it, all administrative expenses must be covered by a combination of the state administrative line and the maximum allowable from the cultural projects line. But this we use for administration, the less that's available for grants. With that in mind, consider the absence of NEA grant funds at this time. The projected fiscal year 26 administrative budget is reduced by more than 25%. The budget includes preserving agency staff and sustaining core operations and services as much as possible. It also includes significantly condensed non-salary costs and a modified roster of public services. Our goal in developing this strategy has been to minimize the negative impact of the reduction in resources on grants and programs for the field. This level of contracting of the agency's budget is not sustainable. It's a non-GAAP, stopgap measure to temporarily get through the reality of our circumstances. Should this year truly end up being without NEA funds. I want to commend Allison and the staff who came to the executive committee last month with multiple scenarios detailed out so that we were ready for anything. As difficult as has been, the amount available for the grants in fiscal year 2026 is $30,481,926. This means we will invest more than $30 million directly into New Jersey communities through hundreds of grants, a minimum of 25% of which per state budget language. We will be granted out to organizations and artists in the 8 southern counties. As we move through the agenda today, you will hear from my colleagues how this year's program plan will become action. The people taking these actions include our amazing staff and our board. Present here today are some, but not all, of my fellow council members. I am grateful to each one of their other 13 voting members who volunteer their time and expertise all year long, as well as the 3 ex officio members who provide important insight and leadership. You can see we currently have 3 vacancies on our board, and we encourage those with an interest in learning about council service to contact the Governor's Appointments Office and your state representatives. The updated, evolving strategy in service to our priorities are the result of ongoing self-assessment and field communication, accounting for initiatives underway as well as current circumstances and agency capacity. The plan broadly describes the areas of work to which staff and board have committed and become the guide for the development of individual works for the year. I would like to offer the following motion: that the fiscal year 2026 program and operations plan as previously circulated be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Recusals? Abstentions? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you to my colleagues and the staff for your work in getting us here today. I look forward to working alongside you all this coming year. Now I'd like to invite the Chair of the Public Value Committee, Ruth Lipper, to deliver her report.
Thank you, Felicia. And thanks to all of you for being here today, for making the drive to Trenton and bearing with the traffic and our technical issues as, excuse me, please, as you are able to participate in this very important annual meeting. As our chairman, the aptly named Felicia Grant, has mentioned, we know you are all very thinly staffed, stretched very thin in all of your activities. And we really appreciate the fact that you are making this meeting a priority. Time is everyone's most valuable resource, and we note with gratitude that you have made this a priority. We endeavor to use your time well. As we do every year, the committee once again worked with the exemplary staff to engage with our legislators at strategic points throughout the fiscal year, not only to offer gratitude for the ongoing level of funding, but to help celebrate the impact of the arts in their districts, on their local economies, and in their neighborhoods. It's important that the legislature hears from the council, and now, more than ever, it's important that they hear from their constituents living and working in New Jersey. That would be all of you. I'd like to take this moment to encourage everyone who benefits from council programs and services to reach out to your elected officials, local, state, and federal, to thank them and to share the impact of their significant investment in the arts. Your personal stories make a difference, and as Felicia noted earlier, they make it clear the arts matter in New Jersey. In addition to sharing our work locally, I'm excited to tell you that the council-supported programs and initiatives are attracting regional and national attention. This past year, the program State of the Arts, produced with Stockton University in partnership with PCK Media, won its 35th Emmy Award. That's an applause line. The winning feature, Lakewa, highlights not only the public art at Newark Liberty Airport's Terminal A, but also celebrates the way in which art can be a welcoming and inclusive tribute to all people. Our Families First Discovery Pass Arts Access Program was featured in a national strategy sampler by our colleagues at the National Assembly of State Arts Agencies, highlighting the program to our peers across the country as a model in cross-sector strategies for civic infrastructure and community cohesion. The Families First program was also nominated by Lieutenant Governor Way for the National Association of Secretaries of State Ideas Award. Ideas standing for innovation, dedication, excellence, and achievement in service. We are honored by the ongoing recognition of the Families First Discovery Pass program, not only because we can share the work of our state's cultural sector, but because New Jersey is seen as a model for how government can work across sectors to better serve our communities. I'd like to thank our Families First partners, the Historical Commission, the New Jersey Department of Human Services, and the Department of Health. I know I speak on behalf of our board and staff when I say that we are proud to be in public service alongside all of you, finding new and innovative ways to remove barriers for more people to engage in cultural experiences. And it is the honor of the Public Value Committee to continue sharing these stories and the impact of the arts in New Jersey. In closing, I'd like to thank my fellow committee members for their dedication to this work, and of course to the staff, all of whom take very seriously their responsibility as public servants and who work tirelessly to highlight the work of this agency and our field. Most notably, our Liaison and Director of Communications, Michelle Baxter-Schaefer. Respectfully submitted, Ruth Lipper.
Thank you, Ruth. And now I'd like to ask the Vice Chair of the Arts Education Committee, Gina Healings, to deliver her report. She's not the Vice Chair. It's okay. But she will be.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. It's a little hot in here, isn't it? All right. I'm so happy to be here with you today, reporting on behalf of Committee Chair Kevin O'Brien. The Arts Education Committee and the Council staff have been very busy this past year, expanding partnerships, providing new resources to teaching artists, and deepening existing programs that provide arts learning to New Jerseyans of every age. In fiscal year 25, the State Arts Council expanded The Business of Being an Artist, a free professional learning series for artists, folk artists, and teaching artists throughout the state. Sessions were led by local and national experts in writing artist statements, crowdfunding, and more. This series of virtual offerings concluded with the Meet and Mingle, a peer-to-peer networking event that engaged artists in speed networking opportunities, structured peer group discussion, and teaching artists-led workshop to spark connection and creativity. Additionally, the Council contributed to the Mid-Atlantic Teaching Artists Talk series, which featured 2 workshops for teaching artists throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, Arts and Corrections and Arts and Health. featuring teaching artists, local practitioners, and national experts in educational workshops, helping to bridge the gap between these developing sectors and teaching artists ready to serve. New this year, the Council hosted a series of arts and health virtual roundtables, which brought together over 440 arts organizations and community partners interested in understanding what's needed to strengthen and support arts and health initiatives statewide. These conversations covered a wide variety of topics and spoke to key council priorities such as lifelong learning. Over the course of the year, the Council engaged 1,863 artists across the state and Mid-Atlantic region through professional development programs. This year, we anticipate professional learning and networking opportunities for artists across the state through the Business of Being an Artist, Making It Public, and the Teaching Artist Community of Practice, a bi-monthly open forum for teaching artists to meet, network, and share resources. For more information about any of these programs mentioned, please contact Samantha Clark, Program Officer for the Arts and Education and Lifelong Learning, who is with us today. Finally, I'd like to uplift Poetry Out Loud. POL has been a cornerstone of the Council's arts education programming for the last 20 years, and we have watched as tens of thousands of students fell in love with poetry and mustered the courage to recite with passion on stages across the state, as we experience today. This is due in large part of the dedication of our programmatic partners, both past and present. I'd like to take a moment to thank our current partners, the Grennan Center for the Arts, Mayo Performing Arts Center, Passaic Community College, Rutgers-Camden Center for the Arts, South Orange Performing Arts Center, and Stockton University Performing Arts Center. And a special thank you goes to Cavan Carey Press for your donation of poetry books to participating teachers over the past years. We're thankful for all of your contributions to grow and deepen this program throughout the state. On behalf of the entire Council, I'd like to thank the truly remarkable partnership we've built with Count Basie Center for the Arts. Kenya Bullock has served as the NJPOL State Arts Coordinator for 3 years, and under her direction, we have seen the program expand beyond our wildest dreams. With the support of Vice President of Education, Samantha Justiniani, and CEO and President Adam Phillipson, Kenya piloted and managed Poetry Ourselves, an original poetry writing contest for the state and regional finalists. She created a teacher cohort, which allowed us to develop and implement new strategies that came directly from those who bring this program to their classroom. And finally, under the support of the Basie Center, NJPOL not only maintained our standing nationwide, but we grew the program to the point that New Jersey was represented in the top 3 for participating schools, students and teachers nationwide. Yes, we definitely deserve an applause. It is such an incredible program, and we know the last 20 years will have lasting effects on the students, educators, and caregivers who participated in this program. As Felicia mentioned earlier, we remain cautiously optimistic that we will receive NEA funding this year, allowing us to continue POL. However, if the funding does not come through, we will keep the field informed on how we plan to honor this program with our partners in a way that acknowledges the decades of commitment and joy POL has provided. I want to thank the members of the Arts Education Committee for all their work this past year, as well as the Arts Council staff and leadership, specifically our wonderful liaison, Samantha Clark. Samantha, I also have 4 words for you. You keep us in check. I know Kevin is always saying you're his right and left arm, but your passion and dedication are such an inspiration to us all. So thank you so much for all your amazing work, Samantha. Respectfully submitted, Gina Hewlings, Arts Education Committee.
Thank you, Gina. And now I'd like to ask Joyce Gore to deliver the nominating committee report.
I know that it's quite hard for some people to hear in this auditorium, but for me, coming from a large family and you're the smallest one, you learn to speak up. So, good morning, or is it still morning, or is it afternoon?
You're good. Still morning.
This is a heavy agenda today, and you folks have been very patient in spite of the fact that you might be anxious to get to the money awards distribution. So you'll be pleased to know that my report is very short. However, in the end, wait a minute. Got my papers all mixed up here. No, I got it, I think.
Oh, that's perfect.
Be right with you. Let me see. Oh, I don't have this. No, that's all right.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
if
perfect.
my page is numbered.
That's not what she's
Here, this is it.
Yeah. No, I didn't know.
Okay. I'm ready. The nominating committee meets once a year to present to the council a slate of nominees to be council officers for the next fiscal year. In this case, FY26. We take this effort very seriously and we kick the can around a little bit. However, in the end, we all agree and there are no second thoughts. These committee members are the best, composed of Vice Chair Lana Goldwater, Walder, Sharon Burton Turner, Ruth Lipper, and Kevin O'Brien, with alternates Vivian Scott Chu and Ophelia Garcia. We have forwarded the slate to all council members in advance of this meeting as called for in our bylaws. After we conclude the nominating process, we will vote by written ballot. Thank you, Deputy Attorney General Brian Ragunan, for being here to certify the results. The Deputy Attorney General will tabulate our votes and I will announce the results. On behalf of the nominating committee, I nominate the following people. For Chair, Felicia Grant. For First Vice Chair, Elizabeth Matson. For Second Vice Chair, Carol Ann Herbert. I will now call for any other nominations for the office of Chair. Hearing none, may I have a motion that nominations be closed?
So moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
are there any recusals? Abstentions? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried. I will now call for any other information for the office of First Vice Chair. Hearing none, may I have a motion that nominations be closed?
So moved.
Second? Are there any recusals? Abstentions? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried. I will now call for any other nominations for the office of Second Vice Chair. Hearing none, may I have a motion that nominations be closed?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Are there any recusals? Abstentions? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried, and all nominations are closed. Thank you. The Deputy Attorney General will tabulate our votes, and I will announce the results.
Thank you.
My page is all mixed up. So, there you have your ballots in front of you, and the Deputy Attorney General, what's his name again?
Brian Raguna.
Brian
Raguna.
Raguno. And he will tabulate the votes and get back to me later, and I will announce the winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. And now I'd like to invite the chair of our Grants Committee, Sharon Burton Turner, to deliver her report.
Good morning, everyone. It is so good to see you all. It's hot, isn't it? And you know what? I'm thinking, since it's so hot, let's forget all this and just carry on with the day and go have some food and go on home. What do you think? No, you don't want that? Okay, well, here we go. As always, it's an honor to gather with you in person to celebrate the determination and the resiliency that encapsulates New Jersey's arts sector. I thank you, too, for the honesty, vulnerability you've shared with the council staff as we navigate the current challenges of federal arts funding. We, too, as you've heard, share your concerns about the profound impact federal dollars have on the ability of the arts organization to improve lives, strengthen communities, and advance the public good. Based on the uncertainty of the NEA funding to the Arts Council, we, in our responsibilities to all of you, had a choice to make. Do we wait to hear from the federal government, or do we strategize moving forward without those critical dollars? As Felicia mentioned earlier, we know that any delay in state grants council have a negative impact on a field already navigating inflation, the end of pandemic relief, and failing donations. As the largest and most reliable arts funder in the state, we know our grant programs allow organizations to continue the necessary work of building a foundation of stability and innovation, while also ensuring the arts reach every county of our state for the benefits of all New Jerseyans. With that in mind, we developed two strategies, one with full NEA funding and one based on available funds from the state budget, which would allow us to continue the critical business of releasing contracts and first payments on or close to our usual schedule. To the staff's credit, and they are indeed phenomenal, the creation of those two scenarios was not as simple as it might sound. With each approach of the math, there are many, many documents created to not only understand the true impact of any changes, but also to ensure those changes align with the agency's stated priorities and be able to communicate about them clearly. The actions we will put forward today for fiscal year 2026 reflect slight reductions across programs to account for the absence of the NEA funding. If we hear from the NEA that we are receiving funding, we will of course change the direction to the extent possible, but for today, we believe we are putting forward the recommendations that maximize the dollars we have in hand toward meaningful investment statewide. This time of the year, in addition to planning for today, council staff are operating in 3 fiscal years simultaneously, closing out last year, fiscal year 2025 grant program, launching this year's fiscal year 26 initiatives, and building opportunities for fiscal year 2027. This type of approach to our work helps ensure that we can deliver our current priorities and promises while we build new ideas and capitalize on progress made in real time. So without further ado, I think we need to begin. These actions are possible based on the resources available to us for grant making this year. Our fiscal year 2026 cultural projects appropriation from the state, as we've heard, is $31.9 million. After accounting for a reduced administrative staff, we were able to distribute nearly $30 million in grant awards, a decrease of over $500,000 from last year. As always, our state appropriation came with language requiring 25% of the $31.9 million appropriation go to artists and arts group in the 8 southern counties. Our recommendations and planned fiscal year 26 grant program initiatives will meet that target. In order to actualize our plans for fiscal year 2026, the Grants Committee finalized a set of funding principles to guide our work, both in policy and practice. The recommended principles and actions allow the Council to implement relevant change and improvements that align with sector needs to continue to nurture healthy, adaptive, and effective organizations. Furthermore, the proposed principles and actions allow us to strategically build upon the modifications we've been implementing for the last few years. Through the grants made today, we will continue support for general operations and programs, advance council initiatives and services in order to maximize statewide impact, and put into practice a breadth of actions that uphold the ideals of stability, resiliency, and adaptability. To continue support for currently funded functioning organizations, programs, and projects as much as possible to maintain stability in the field, fiscal year 26 grants will be strategically adjusted in accordance with the Council's published priorities. For co-sponsored programs, employ a 4% reduction to all grants. For GOS organizations, employ a 2% reduction to all grants. For GPS organizations, employ a 3.5% reduction to all grants. However, in order to help meet the Council's South Jersey target, as previously mentioned, all co-sponsored programs, GOS, and GPS organizations located in the southern 8 counties will remain level. There are exceptions to those modifications, and they are identified within the actions guiding today's work. For the New Jersey Heritage Fellowships, employ a funding scenario that is based on awarding the top 10 scoring nominations. For the Creative Aging Initiative project grants, employ a funding scenario that is based on funding the top 8 scoring applications in each of the 3 panels, which results in 24 grants. For the Local Arts Program, employ a funding scenario that awards 1% increases to the 9 applications ranked between 1.22 and 1.97, resulting in an increased investment of $26,185 into LAP. During our discussion, and we had many, the Grants Committee adhered strictly to the ethical practice of recusing ourselves based on affiliations or the perception of conflict of interest. We will do this again when we vote today, and the motions are structured to enable voting to be accomplished with recusals taken into consideration. Because of this, the slates, which we will share on the screen as we always do as we vote, will look different from the typical grants listing we distribute. All finalized grant awards will be available in hard copy when the meeting adjourns, and of course, available online this afternoon. I will now introduce the motions. In keeping with the established procedure for recusals, I will make a motion, and I will ask that it be seconded. I will ask if there are any recusals, and if you're not able to vote on that motion, you will need to raise your hand, state your name, and say, I have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations listed. I will then ask for abstentions, then for discussion, then call the vote, to which those recusing would not respond. I ask everyone to speak up loudly and clearly. Here we go. The first slate proposed is the project-based grant awards. One vitality important way that the council achieves its goals of service to the entire state is through a roster of annual and multi-year co-sponsored projects and initiatives. This slate reflects funding for partnerships such as the 5 regional folk life centers, the Cultural Access Network, and the Arts Annual. This slate also contains a reallocation of folk and traditional arts resources to the project Paved with Promise, Local and Global Perspectives on Immigration. This statewide initiative aims to explore individuals and group experiences of immigration as a result of the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act. The journey of immigrants will be revealed through storytelling and a traveling exhibit, as well as a series of educational programs around the state hosted by the Folk Life Centers in partnership with the Council. I shall now call for the vote that the proposed fiscal year 26 grant awards be approved for the organizations listed on the project-based grants Slate 1 as previously circulated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any recusals?
I, Jeremy Grunin, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
Thank you.
I, Carol Herbert, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
I, Gina Hewlings, have an affiliation with one or more organizations on this slate.
Thank you. Abstentions? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. The second slate is comprised of the Council's latest investments in folk and traditional arts and wellness. The New Jersey Heritage Fellowships are the state's highest honor in folk and traditional arts and are a one-time $20,000 award to exemplary New Jersey. You know, it's hot, we're tired, and oh, please. We know indeed our New Jersey folk and traditional artists. Fiscal year 26 is the second time the Council has given these awards. Following the inaugural cohort in fiscal year 24, Heritage Fellows are selected based on the following criteria: lifetime achievement, artistic excellence, and contributions to New Jersey's living cultural heritage. Of the record-setting 58 nominations reviewed by an independent peer panel, the top 10 scoring nominations are recommended for this year's distinction of New Jersey Heritage Fellows. The Creative Aging Initiative provides critical funding to the eligible organizations to cover costs for arts learning experiences with New Jersey older adults age 55 and older, valuing the relationship between arts engagement and well-being as we age. The Council knows important work is being done across the state by organizations that are using the arts to improve cognitive function, mental health, and social inclusion. Of the 103 applications that were received, 24 will receive $10,000 of funding for each year of the 2-year grant cycle, pending, of course, available resources based on the independent review of specialists in the field. For this vote, I've got to recuse myself because I have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations listed. So I'm going to ask my Vice Chair, Ruth Libber of the Grants Committee, to please conduct this vote.
Thank you, Sharon. That the proposed fiscal year 26 grant awards be approved for the organizations listed on the project-based grants slate number 2 as previously circulated. Do I have a second? Second. Are there any recusals?
I, Sharon Burton Turner, have to recuse myself. I have an affiliation with one of the organizations.
I, Gina Hewlings, have an affiliation with one of the organizations on this slate.
I, Jeremy Grunin, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
Thank you. Are there any abstentions? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried.
Thank you, Ruth. The third slate proposed is the Local Arts Program Investment. Since 1979, the Council has worked in collaboration with a network of 21 counties, officially designated county arts agencies, to extend the reach of Council resources through re-grant programs and services. This year, fiscal year 26, marks a new top of the cycle for our county agency partners. During the pandemic, as you will recall, the Council extended the typical three-year cycle in order to lessen the administrative burden on a field in crisis. During this time, however, when the Council's budget increased, the Council's support of the local arts program tripled in an effort to reach more organizations statewide. The impact of this increased funding continues to build impact and momentum in meaningful ways. Based on the panel review, it was evident that the Arts Council's investment has, in many cases, successfully increased the capacity of the county agencies and their ability to parlay that investment back into their communities by providing critical financial support for small and grassroots organizations that are local in scope and critical to community vitality statewide. I shall now call for the vote that the proposed fiscal year 26 grant awards be approved for the organization listed on the LAP program slate as previously circulated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any recusals?
I, Felicia Grant, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
I, Jeremy Grunin, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
I, Gina Hewlings, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
Are there any abstentions? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All oppose? Thank you, the motion is carried. Next, I will be introducing a set of 3 slates that comprise the Council's General Operating, or GOS, and General Program Support, or GPS, grantees. As the keystone of the Council's program, GOS grants provide support for the overall operations of organizations with missions exclusively devoted to the arts, and GPS grants provide support for the operating cost of full-time, ongoing, public access arts programs. While some of these grants contain small decreases, we understand that any amount of a decreased fund still has impact on your bottom line. But we firmly believe that the ability to release your contract on time is the most effective way to advance stability and foster forward motion in the field. And as I stated earlier, if the NEA funds come through, we have processes in place to quickly amend contracts and adjust grant awards as appropriate. I now will call for a series of votes. As a reminder, these motions are structured to enable voting to be accomplished with recusals taken into consideration, and as stated, all grant information will be shared immediately after the meeting adjourns. That the proposed fiscal year 26 grant awards be approved for the organizations listed on the GOS and GPS Slate 4 as previously circulated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any recusals?
I, Felicia Grant, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
I, Ruth Lipper, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
I, Liz Mattson, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
Thank you. Any abstentions? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Now, once again, I'm going to have to remove myself from the vote. So I'm going to ask my vice chair, Ruth Lipper, to step in for me.
Thank you. For the next slate, I will once again ask the Grants Committee that's Sharon asking me. Sorry.
We're melting up here.
Yes, the glare, too. That the proposed fiscal year 26 grant awards be approved for the organizations listed on the GOS and GPS Slate 5 as previously circulated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any recusals?
I, Sharon Burton Turner, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations listed on that slate.
I, Evelyn McGee Colbert, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
Are there any abstentions? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried.
Thanks again, Ruth. that the proposed fiscal year 26 grant awards be approved for the organizations listed on the GOS GPS Slate 6 as previously circulated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any recusals?
I, Jeremy Grunin, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
I, Carol Herbert, have an affiliation with one or more organizations on this slate.
I, Gina Hewlings, have an affiliation with one or more of the organizations on this slate.
Are there any abstentions? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. So, before I conclude, I'd like to recognize that for decades, the Arts Council has supported folk and traditional arts through the apprenticeship program, supporting the passing on of skills from one mentor artist to an apprentice artist. After considerable field research, we launched the New Jersey Heritage Fellowship Program for the first time 2 years ago. This year, our second ever cohort of artists is acknowledged in this way. Our way of honoring their outstanding work to preserve our state's highly diverse cultural heritage. The vote has passed, and I want to just take a moment to bring back on the screen the 10-20-26 New Jersey Heritage Fellows. For those fellows who are in attendance this morning, I would like for you to stand as I call your name. Please hold all applause until I call all 10, and I must say up front immediately, I will do my very best to not mispronounce names, but trust me, I have been practicing, but I just don't know. So know that I'm doing my very best. Okay, Alessandra Belloni. Kimberly Camp. Omar Edwards. Tyrese Bright Flower Gould Jacinto. Nilima Raju Karalapudi. Deborah Mitchell. Ramna Rayan. Juan Pepe Santana. Rachna Sarong. And lastly, Young Yi. Let's give them another hand. They have done an outstanding job. Thank you, thank you. Well, thank you. That concludes the Grants Committee's recommendations. After the close of the meeting, the council staff will be standing by at the entrance to the reception area, handing out our grant award lists and answering questions. As always, grant award notification will be posted on the council's website this afternoon, and all existing grantees will receive their award letter by email to the email address listed in their Sage account. Please make sure the information in your account is updated. Let me close my report by extending, as always, my sincere thanks to my colleagues on the Grants Committee. I don't know how I do it. You pull me through every single time. Our Vice Chair, Ruth Lipper, and members, Elizabeth Matson, Carol Herbert, Michael Penna, who's not with us today, and Kevin O'Brien, he's not here as well as the alternates, Felicia Grant and Gina Hewling. Thanks, unbelievable thanks to the council staff. Even before you think of a possibility, they've thought of it. Whatever you need, they got it. It is unbelievable. I want to thank the council staff for all they do to get us ready all year round, every time, all the time. And I especially want to give a special shout out to where is Tammy? She always hides. Oh, thank goodness. To Tammy Herman. She is the council liaison. And now to something that is extremely bittersweet for me. My colleague, Ophelia, we have been together since the very beginning. Oh, I just can't believe you're leaving us. I just can't believe you're doing it. As someone who I am going to miss, I can't even begin to really think about it. I am going to miss her. She was always unafraid to share her opinion. Didn't care if you wanted to hear it. She shared it. Asked questions and challenged, and she definitely challenged the status quo. Ophelia, I will never be able to thank you enough. I will never. We have shared good times, and Lord knows we have shared some bad times. And they've been hard times on this board. And I can honestly say that you were always, always a reliable source of strength and wisdom in this work. For me, for the council, for everyone. You were always so deliberate in your thoughts. And you were always, always critical about saying the right thing that needed to be said. I will miss you. For us on the board, for the field, for the artists, and for the staff. Thank you doesn't seem enough. But right now, that's all I can muster up. But thank you so much, my dear friend. Respectfully submitted, Sharon Burton Turner, Grants Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon. Congratulations to all council grantees. While some of these grant awards are slightly different that we expected to announce today, we have confidence in the process and the people behind each one of those grant decisions. I now ask Joyce to report on the election results.
You could do it right.
Do it right from here. She's ready to do it from here or from the, why don't you want to do it from your seat? Get an answer right from here.
Oh, do it right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the results of the nominations, which were tabulated by the Deputy Attorney General, who was kind enough to come and certify the results for us, and we thank him. The results are for the Chair, Felicia Grant, for the first Vice Chair, Elizabeth Matson, and for the second Vice Chair, Carol Ann Herbert.
Joyce, and thank you to my fellow council members for electing me chair for another year. I'm excited to continue this work, and congratulations to the first chair, Liz Mattson, and the second chair, Carol Herbert. At this time, is there any old business before the council? Come before the council. Hearing none. At this time, is there any new business? Yes, D. Kirk, please.
This will just take a moment. I'm having trouble with my voice, so bear with me. We've heard so many accolades today. The council was formed in the mid-'60s, almost 60 years ago. We were a very small family. Now we're a large family. I want to thank you, and also on behalf of my colleagues, that without you, the arts community, we would not have an arts council. So I thank all of you for all you have done, and I want to congratulate all of you. Many of you I've known for years. So I'm going to stand up and give you my personal acknowledgement. And just one more thing, I want to take a quick opportunity, because we work with all of the staff. I want to thank our new chair, Felicia, Allison Tratner, and all the council staff, but in particular, the two women that have helped me so tremendously. Samantha, please stand. Please. Michelle Baxter. Michelle, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dee. That was wonderful. At this time, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? Yes.
Hello, everyone.
We have a microphone for you.
I'm Wendy Lascon, the Executive Director of Arts in New Jersey, and what we do is we fight for every child to have the arts education in 5 art forms that they deserve, and it's mandated by law. And the reason I'm standing up today is because we are fighting for your future audiences and the creative sector. And the real reason I'm up here today is because there's a group of folks who are working on this arts pay, and that creative sector piece, we want you to make sure that you fill that out. If you are an organization, please do it within the next month or so. And if you are an employee of an organization or an artist, we need you. And look at Denise holding up the information that you need to take home with you. So please fill that out for the future of our creative sector.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Cleveland, Executive Director of Cavan Carey Press. I just wanted to say, first of all, a great debt of gratitude and admiration to each of you on the council for making what I can only imagine is just such deeply, deeply difficult decisions in light of the budget this year. I can't even imagine just how hard that must have been for each of you. So first of all, thank you. Now, as the representative of Cavan Carey, which has long been a partner of NJPOL, I can't stand here and pretend that I am not biased in my statement here, but I just, wanted to express gratitude for that program and hope for the future of the program as well, since New Jersey has been a cornerstone of American poetry for all of U.S. history, nourishing poets such as William Carlos Williams, Maria Mazziotti Gillen, Amiri Baraka, Dorothy Parker, Allen Ginsberg, and so many, 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 many others. NJPOL cultivates appreciation and engagement in arts and arts education throughout the state in truly profound ways, and I think nothing was more representative of that than the beautiful, beautiful reading we had at the start of this session. So thank you for that. Additionally, it showcases, as we mentioned earlier, 9th in the country, I believe we said. The NJPOL program showcases the New Jersey excellence in the arts on a national level, which continues to foster and bring in the arts industry into this state for people from all around the country. Finally, NJPOL demonstrates the value of speech in an era where dissent and the exploration of ideas in general is both stifled and silenced. So for all these reasons, I felt compelled to stand and advocate for the program and for everything that you all are doing. One more time, thank you so much.
I didn't write mine down, but I'm Chase Jackson, Executive Director for Ocean City Arts Center, and I want to say that I want to commend the council for continuing the Heritage Fellowships. As you read out the names, and when I saw them on the screen first, I was saying, is she going to talk about them? Is she going to tell us who they are? But anyway, but it brought tears. I welled up, got tears to my eyes about seeing these people. The amount of diversity that we are showing here in New Jersey is just phenomenal. And I'm so glad with the way things are trying to go that you all are keeping up the faith. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carolyn Dorfman, Artistic Director, Carolyn Dorfman Dance, and as I always say, I've been coming to these meetings a long time. But as people probably always on Zoom today, and I thought, oh, you know, I could watch it from home. And then I come here, and it probably one of the darkest times in my life in this country, regardless of the funding for the arts, just what is happening in our communities. I went, wow. These are my people. Like, we have got to stay together, and seeing people who are doing what you all do, so and how you're supporting that. But this in-person, eye-to-eye, looking, talking, celebrating, there's no place else I'd rather be. So thank you for that and for your care, and to everyone else here who just does extraordinary work. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle, Michelle Russo from Young Audiences. I just wanted to, it is a very heartbreaking time in the world, and when I received a call from Samantha a couple of weeks ago about what funding might be happening, of course, my head went to the worst possible places. And I just want to thank the council staff and the council for being really careful and thoughtful with the cuts, because it means for our project grant that we will still be able to do many, 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 many artist residencies with many, many hundreds of children in schools. And I can't really think of anything that is more important in school right now for students to be connecting with their creativity, with their own voice, with their artistry, with their peers, and with artists. So I just want to recognize Samantha, the rest of the staff, and everybody for, you were given a job that nobody ever prepared you for. That's what's happening right now for all of us, but for your care and everything that you had to do. So thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Paul Lucas,
just a regular citizen, normal guy, living in New Jersey. First of all, thank you to the state, thank you to this fine, excellent board, and then most of all, from me and people like me, I want to thank all the artists. I don't know what all of you do. All I know is that wherever I go, I look around and I see some form of art. And for that, I want to say thank you to you. And I do want to remind you of one thing Ms. Kimberly Camp has always reminded me. It was never really about the money. It was always about the passion. And I asked her, and then she shut me down, and I don't argue anymore. I asked her, why does she do the art the way she does the art? Like, that's how I talk to her. And I said, how do you do it? And she looks, picks up one eye, then the second eye, and she goes, that's how I do it. So to all of you artists, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's a profound honor to stand before you today and accept this recognition. More than a personal accolade, is a tribute to the indomitable spirit of the Andean people. The colors are wear today. They are not chosen at random. They are the meaningful hues of the Huifala, the Andean flag, a symbol of unity, a symbol of ancestral wisdom. I want our gratitude for this honor could be expressed in countless eloquent ways. But today, I choose to let the music speak. A gentle caress to your senses through the notes born in the highlands will offer our heartfelt thanks for your acknowledgement of the traditions that must be preserved and cherished across our enchanting continent that we call America. Join me with your clapping.
Juan Santana.
All right. Thank you. Incredible, heartfelt comments, and I love that performance. On behalf of our board and staff and everyone here, thank you so very much. On behalf of my fellow council members and the staff, thank you for being with us this morning. Even in the face of uncertainty, we move forward together. I hope you can all join us for refreshments, which will be available on the Patriots Theater stage. Once the meeting adjourns, the doors to our left, or my left, will be open, and you can make your way through and to the stage for food and drinks. And remember, grants information is available from council staff. You'll find them ready and awaiting for you when you make your way to the reception. So I now call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Abstentions? Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? The motion is carried. This meeting of the New Jersey State Council on the Arts is now officially adjourned. Thank you all so very much.